Ahoy everybody, I'm Jamal and this is my story from the last Sziget Rush. I didn't race in the previous two events, but this last one was the championship, so I had to defend my title. There is no tight connection between the first two and this one. Those are nothing more than practice runs and this is the real deal. I finished the Hungarian Divide, you can find the videos here by the way, on Monday evening, so I could only come home on Tuesday. I had about 3 to 4 days to rest until the race that was held on Friday night. I didn't do much at home, I only left to deal with some everyday stuff like shopping or so. On the day of the race I didn't feel tired anymore, but my Achilles was still in pain. And on top of that I had to ride a fixie this time. By the way, thanks for the bike, Andris. But there was something worse than my Achilles. I ate way too much. I was still in the phase of regaining the lost calories after the divide and I just couldn't stop myself from eating a big plate of scrambled eggs. I hope that my stomach will deal with it before the race, but deep inside I knew that it was just too much. I had absolutely no will to ride. I could barely get myself to do some camera work. I just wanted to sit and watch. But I was there for another reason. Not long before, I spent 5.5 days in total discomfort. One more evening couldn't hurt. I didn't feel like I could defend my title today, but I still wanted to try everything. I was in the second qualifier run. Luckily this group wasn't too scary. Sorry guys, no offense. One guy went for the lead immediately and I could just ride behind the others. Basically I just went with the flow. On the way back I broke away because I was much stronger than the other riders, and the guy who was in front was obviously very tired at this point, so I had no problem overtaking him, and from that it was just smooth sailing to the finish. The semi-final was a bit trickier. I was on the third race with Levente Libardi, who is one of the strongest riders, who actually won the previous two events. But even so I wasn't scared, because it was the first two who got into the finals. It just simply didn't matter what order we came in, so my plan was to just test his strength on a sprint, so I would know what to expect on the final run. After the start I jumped to the front, which was a stupid idea. I still didn't feel well, so I had absolutely no intention to lead the group. I did a fake breakaway, which was successful. Soon somebody would get into the lead, but Levi was still hanging tight on my back wheel. It didn't surprise me. I was expecting him to do so, to do this hang on Jamal's wheel tactic. The question was, how strongly will he stick to this tactic? On the turnaround I went really wide. I was hoping he would stay on the tighter line by instinct, but I could only get one person to overtake me, and it wasn't him. Not satisfied with the results, I did not go after him to encourage other riders to overtake me so I could get behind the group. Well, this was an incredibly stupid idea. As you can see, or rather can see, the guy in the first place was light years away already, and David on the second place was getting away too. I hoped that I could under Levi so he would go and chase after the others. I waited as long as I dared, but at the end I was the one panicking. The finish line was getting near, and we were still in third and fourth place. I started to gradually increase the speed. Meanwhile, David overtook the leader, and he was way too fast to catch. So there was no chance that Levi and I could both qualify. I was balancing on a knife's edge. If I go too slow, we won't catch up, and neither of us will qualify. If I go too fast, I will catch the guy in the second place, but I will be too tired to defend against Levi at the final sprint. I had to find a sweet spot that is just enough to catch up, but still leaves enough power in me for the final sprint. Problem is, I was leading the group the whole way back. Does that sweet spot even exist? I waited as long as I dared to, and stabbed on the pedals, and hoped for the best. I couldn't do anything else. To be honest, I messed up this race so bad I deserved to lose. I could see his light getting closer and closer on my left side. I could hear him. I could see his front wheel appear. But then, at the last moment, we crossed the finish line just before he could overtake me. I only won by half a wheel. I really didn't deserve it, but I got into the finals. After some rest, it was time for the big one. There were 6 people in the final race. I felt even more powerless than before, but usually when I feel like this, I'm still able to do one final push. My only chance was if I don't lead a single meter until the end, or I do a final sprint from an absolutely perfect track position. It looked like I was not the only one with this idea. In fact, I think this was the slowest race in the history of Sziget Rush. The final round is always slower in the beginning, but this was pathetic. We were just joking around with each other. Yes, we were laughing, but still, we could feel the tension in the air. Nobody wanted to burn his own energy. Everybody was waiting for somebody else to do the hard work. Finally, after an eternity, Marci went for a small breakaway. We quickly caught up. It wasn't a serious attempt. I think he just didn't want the race to end up in a track stand competition. After the turnaround, the pack got together and the speed dropped again. As we were approaching the finish line, I silently dropped back a few meters to have some buffer zone for the final sprint. And now I will shut up so you can enjoy the final moments without any distraction.
Az megjesztettél, hallod? Nagyon határozott hangod volt.
I won. I don't know what was the gap, but judging from the sound, it wasn't big. Still, I managed to defend my title. This last 1.5 week, combined with the Hungarian divide, was an absolute success, even if sometimes luck played a big role. Well, this is it for this video. There were a lot of other things happening during the event. Obviously, there were other rounds. The women's finish was especially epic this time. There were a booby race, which is our community bike here in Budapest, track stand, foot down, freestyle. I plan to make another video focusing just on these things, and also a best of Sziget Rush 2020, so please subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss them. Let's help both of us.